So all this is Medical Johnny once again. To continue on with the C's. It's going to be a very short video. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 definitions, not that much. So let's continue on with our C's.
Detective.
So sorry about that. Carbohydrate. So you've probably heard about these carbohydrates. They basically, what they are is type of basic food element, because remember everything is about elements, used by the body. So carbohydrates are used by the body, composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and it includes sugars and starches. The carbohydrates includes sugars and starches. My camera is lying on top of a, let me try and show you guys here. Lying on top of a hot sauce box, and as I don't know if you can see right here, but right here it says total carbohydrates, and then under that in the subsection it says sugars. So it never says starches on the back of the nutrients facts. It will say that there are starches in the ingredients, but as far as the nutrients facts, these all say total carbohydrates, less than 1 gram. And in the subsection, it says 0 grams of sugars. So carbohydrates, carbon, high, hydrogen, drate, and I guess that leads to oxygen. I don't know. Carbo and high. Carbo, high, carbon, hydrogen, and then there's oxygen involved. Anyway, it includes sugars and starches. That's basically what it is. So, type of basic food element used by the body. Composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, includes sugars and starches. That's the basic word. Next word, cardiac. Cardiac. This is something essential to what you need to know, just like calorie, carbohydrate, things like that. No matter what field you're going into in the medical. Cardiac. You've heard of this when somebody has a cardiac arrest. What is a cardiac arrest? A heart attack. Cardiac. Pertaining to the heart. When you have an exercise that involves cardio, it is from the heart. Cardio, heart, pertaining to the heart. So cardiac is basically is heart, right? Funny enough, our next word is cardiac arrest, which we've just gone over. So cardio, the unexpected stopping of the heartbeat and circulation. So when your heart stops, and you can feel when your heart stops. You can only usually just feel your heart half of the time, because you're at rest and it's not going boom, 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 like when you're running or anything, or when you're laying there. I know whenever I'm laying there, maybe it's just me, I might have some type of problem, I don't know, but my body feels like there's blood pumping through. It's like boom, boom, boom. I can feel that. So when that stops, then you feel a very big pressure in your chest because nothing's going on there, and then possibly your blood starts clotting and all of that. So basically cardiac arrest is cardiac, heart, arrest, stopping. When you arrest somebody, for example, you're stopping crime. So cardiac, stopping, heart, stopping. So heart attack is cardiac arrest. That's the medical name for it. Cardiac muscle tissue. I didn't even look at the definition of this one, but I could pretty much, let's just have a guess. Cardiac muscle tissue. Your heart is a muscle, okay? So cardiac, heart, muscle tissue. It's the tissue of the muscles of your heart. See? Involuntary muscle tissue found only in the heart. There you go. Your heart is, there's 2 types of muscles in the body. Automatic, and that's involuntary, and then voluntary. I can choose to run, I can't choose for my heart to stop. There's stories about monks who can, but in China and all that. But we're talking Western medical science here. I can choose to turn my head like this. I can choose to run my mouth annoyingly at the camera like I'm doing right now, and you probably all want to shoot me. And when you shoot me, the muscle that you use to pull the trigger, that's voluntary. But you can't tell your heart to stop beating. That's involuntary. You can't, when you pass out, you can't run. That's voluntary. But your lungs are going to continue to breathe when you're asleep. That's involuntary. You can go, you can stop your lungs for that long, but once you pass out, then your lungs are going to continue to breathe. So it may seem voluntary, but it's not voluntary. It's actually involuntary. And that is cardiac muscle tissue. So the involuntary muscle tissue of the heart that keeps it pumping. And of the of the heart. So cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Remember, cardiac. Remember that. That is important. That is key to your medical training, is these key words. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation. So that's CPR. Your heart is stopped. We have to get it back to where it's pumping again. CPR. Everybody should have heard of what CPR is. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Resuscitation means if you resuscitate somebody that were dead, you brought them back. They're not breathing. Their breathing's back. The heart's not working. Almost said the heart's not breathing. Technically, when your heart is not working and they bring it back, cardio resuscitation. It's not respiratory resuscitation where your heart's beating but your lungs aren't. It's your heart has stopped beating. We have to get it back online. That's why they push in the chest to try and squish the blood. Squish your heart to go, because your heart goes thump 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 thump. Try to push it in the chest and then go swell it up with blood and then push it back. So all the blood has been pushed out, and then, like a vacuum, it'll go back in. So an emergency procedure used to re-establish effective circulation and respiration in order to prevent irreversible brain damage. When your heart's not working, you have a minute or less before that person starts suffering brain damage and die, obviously, but if they don't have circulation in their head for like 5 minutes, you could get their heart back working, but because their brain has not had pure oxygen, it's not going to be working. It starts suffering damage, just like all your body technically suffers damage when you're not alive. It starts going downhill, and eventually, pretty much, you can still bring the person back after like 5 minutes, but they could be, and I hate to say it like this, a vegetable. They might not have any working brain left. You could bring them back and they could have dementia, they could have amnesia for the rest of their life, they could just sit in a chair and drip drool, they could be perfectly fine. There's cases where people have come back after 20 minutes after being quote-unquote dead. You'll learn more about those when you go through the whole spiritual thing. That's where they see the whole light and everything. Not that I'm agreeing or disagreeing, I'm just telling you. So basically, an emergency procedure, CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, procedure used to re-establish effective circulation, effectively getting the blood to go back and back and forth, and respiration, right? In order to prevent irreversible brain damage. You don't have to try and save them. You would want to save them, but the main thing is to just keep them. This is what you're told in medical school. You try to keep them alive until the paramedics can get there. You try to keep their brain from dying until the paramedics can get there and actually save their life. You are told that in medical school and in CPR training. So that is why it says, in order to prevent irreversible brain damage, not to try and get their heart started again, which you would want, but to prevent irreversible brain damage. They didn't say until paramedics arrive, but that's pretty much what they tell you in every... I took an introductory nursing class. It didn't have anything to do